The following is an episode of The Brian Brawdy Show, and listener discretion is strongly advised. Because if you're easily triggered, outraged, offended, maligned, mortified, insulted, or otherwise verbally injured, if you're constantly looking for a bubble, a safe space, some training wheels, or some water wings muffin to get through your day, take it up with a therapist. I'm not your shrink.
Thanks for listening to The Brian Brawdy Show. It's time to mortal up.
And welcome to the Brian Brawdy Show. So very nice to be here. Thank you for joining us. It seems, I don't know, Wayne, if we have a signal going out to Facebook. It's not registering here. If we do, just to let you know. But I'm absolutely thrilled to be here for everyone that's on Twitter or LinkedIn or at radiobry.com. Thank you so very much for joining us this evening. Boy, oh boy, do we have a lot to talk about. All kinds of craziness going on in the world. It's something else. But that's why I say it's all uphill. And I think we'll get into this a lot deeper in the Mortal Up segment a little bit later this hour. But what I find terribly comforting, if you will, is that we're all built for the brawl. All of our backs were built for the corner. And we've been convinced that we should fear uncertainty, that we should fear tumultuous times, that when things aren't going as planned, we should hunker down in the corner and just shake, not do anything, right? Not tap our natural resources, not do anything like that. We should just hunker down and let whatever fate plans on doing, right? No squaring your shoulders with fate. That's what they would have us do. But I'm here to say it's one of the coolest things about being a mortal, which is why I say all the time, mortal up, is that we are built for when it goes sideways. We think we're not. We'd rather things go straight, I imagine, but this is the labyrinth of life. This isn't a straight line of life. There's no, as the crow flies, this is the labyrinth of life. The ups, the downs, the lefts, the rights, the pivots, the swerves. Always an adventure. And if you remember, the original Latin of the word adventure, or the avventura, is something about to happen. Now, there are plenty of folks that anticipate life being an expedition. Oh, well, I'm going to go from A to B, and then from B to C, C to D, D to E, right? Unless it's a DUI test, then maybe you can't even do the alphabet like that. I don't know. Pick with the letter G. Let me know what's going on. Right? But a lot of people live that way, like it's an expedition, but it isn't. It's an adventure. Something about to happen. Constant pivots, constant swerves, ups, downs, lefts, rights. But that's what's so cool about it, is that every time you handle the sideways, you get stronger. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know that when it comes to building your personal strength, when it comes to tapping your natural resources, when it comes to displaying your all-natural being, as I'm wont to call it, your grit, your buried logic, they want you to think it's all got to be, oh, no, everything's got to be safe and secure and assured. When in fact, it isn't. Not at all. Human beings are their best when they're battling the uphills. So it's all uphill. I think what happens is we get in trouble when we think, oh, all right, great, groovy, peachy, whatever. It went sideways on me. Well, it's going to go sideways on us. That's what's great about it. And the reason that we say that it's all uphill is that you may have forgotten about it, but when you were born, just sitting up straight was uphill. crawling was up. For God's sakes, walking was uphill. Then jogging, then running, sprinting, bicycling, swimming. It was all uphill. Thrown in the water, so to speak. Nothing happens. Till you learn how to swim, till you learn how to fight gravity. All of life is a battle against gravity. And there are people that would like to scare you into believing they can take care of everything. The dementia that is some of the things that we hear about from the leftist, from neoliberalism. Right? They want you to have training wheels and water wings. You and I don't need training wheels and water wings now, do we? So that's why we're so excited tonight to talk about It's All Uphill. Just a reminder. There's nothing supposed to be motivational about this, nothing at all. Just a reminder. It's reminding us that it's okay to have your back against the wall. Right? That the coolest thing about rock bottom is that's where the ricochet happens. That rock bottom is the perfect launch point for everything else you want for your life. And don't let anyone tell you any different, because they are everywhere. They want to convince you that you need the training wheels. How will you get by without water wings? How will you ever do it? Don't fall for it. Don't buy into their mashugana. Don't buy into their cognitive graffiti sprayed all over the inside of your mind that leads you to believe that you're somehow inferior, because you're not. Not in any way, shape, or form. All right, so tonight, a little bit later, we'll get into Mortal Up and the concept of I know it's terribly stoic of me, right? I get that. But it's all uphill. All right, Wayne, how are you this evening? What's going on in your world? I heard you were busy all day long today.
I was busy all day. Didn't spend any time watching or listening to anything.
Oh, great. All right, so you literally have nothing to say.
I have absolutely nothing to say. I have a fresh mind today.
Oh, good. Very good. Mind wide open, so to speak. Your audio's a little staticky, so maybe that's a good thing that we don't have anything to say. I have no Facebook feed coming up in our monitor. So does that mean... I'm sorry?
It's working out there.
Oh, great. Well, hello to everyone. I'm sorry I can't get in to see you, or I can't hear in the monitor and get any of your quotes or posts tonight. For some reason, it just isn't meant to be for me, but let me say hello to everyone. And Wayne, if you can see the video going live, can you give a shout out quickly to anyone that's already in the feed here?
Well, we're going to give a shout out to Ina.
Ooh.
To Candace. Good old Brian Mackey.
All right. Hi, Bri.
I think the static is gone, is it?
Yes, sir. The static is gone.
Okay.
There we go.
And that's it in the comments.
That's it in the comments. All right. Well, welcome, everyone. Thank you so very much for joining us. It's All Uphill, episode 514. Hard to believe that's where we are. Having a little bit of trouble with the monitor this evening, so I may not be able to give a shout out, but from time to time, Wayne, if you could, that would be great. All right, Wayne. So I want to do this, right? Because one, you know how much I enjoy the brawl.
Absolutely.
Right? It's just the number. It's just in me, right? Probably left over from my law enforcement or military days. I don't know, but I love the brawl. So here's the brawl that I decided to wade into today. I was watching the debate the other night, and I have a different take on the President Trump saying, I think it was stand down and stand by. Because I must have misunderstood what he was saying. I thought he was saying stand by, meaning stop asking me the question, let me get the answer out. But I could be wrong. But what I wanted to play tonight was a compilation. So for all the people going, I can't believe he endorsed, I can't believe he refused. And for all the would-be kindergartner reporters, Jimmy Accosted and all the rest of them, the Circus News Network, MSNBC, the New York Times, the Washington Compost, you get the list of bad guys and bad girls. Could you play for me the compilation just of the last 6 or 7 times that the president has come out and said, I unequivocally, absolutely, wholeheartedly, lock the door, drop the mic, I do not endorse these people. Would you mind playing that clip real quick?
Here it goes.
Here we are.
I totally disavow the Ku Klux Klan. I totally disavow David Duke.
When you say the party is self-destructive, what do you see as the biggest problem with the Reform Party right now?
Well, you've got David Duke just joined. A bigot, a racist, a problem. I mean, this is not exactly what you want in your party. So are you prepared right now to make a clear and unequivocal statement renouncing the support of all white supremacists?
Of course I am.
Do I have to reject? I've rejected David Duke, rejected David Duke. I've rejected the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan. About the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. Racism is evil. And those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups that are repugnant to everything we hold dear as America. In one voice, our nation must condemn racism, bigotry, and white supremacy.
So I'm sorry, Wayne. What am I missing? How much more unequivocal can you today, right now, say you unequivocally condemn white supremacy? You unequivocally condemn racism and all these other things going on. How much more can the guy come out and say it? I don't understand. Was he inarticulate at the debate? Perhaps the debacle, as some are calling it. As I've called it. Oh, Wayne, I should mention that, it's breaking news. We say it here from time to time. Remember, you heard it here first. Did you tell me today that the Presidential Commission on Future Debacles, whatever they label themselves, they've come out now and they say they're going to give the kill switch? You and I first reported that the morning after with the little picture on Facebook of Gladiator. Are you not entertained? And we said, hey, they should give the moderator a kill switch. And now, did I hear today that they're thinking about giving whoever the moderator is a kill switch?
Yeah, apparently the Democrats have requested that.
Cool.
But I don't believe the commission has really made a final decision on it.
All right.
I know Trump is fighting it.
Well, I have to tell you, and I said it the following morning, that I think when you look at the debate, everyone's infuriated. Everyone's this, everyone's that, everyone's right, because it was Trump against little Joey Biden and what is his name? Not Chris Matthews. What's the guy's name? Chris Wallace?
Yeah.
Chris Wallace, I think, is his name. The moderator over there. It was like a tag team, but Trump didn't have anyone to jump. He couldn't tag anybody. So he was going up against that. And then I just thought, maybe, there you go, the first debate, the first debacle. There's Joe. And Chris trying to give up the high five. I guess what he's saying, stop saying or stop talking or whatever else. But here's the thing. I think a lot of people, which is why if you tune into any of the mainstream media and these talk shows and these different things that go on, everyone's busy screaming and hollering at each other, interrupting each other, berating each other. That's where I learned what the term apoplectic means. So I got to tell you, I think it's vogue for people to go, can you believe that debate? Yeah, you're damn right. I believe it. It's exactly what people want. It's no one can complete a sentence. A good friend of mine used to say, oh, please feel free to interrupt the middle of my sentence with the beginning of yours. Right? It's everywhere. So everyone wants to be offended. And I love all these other countries from around the world going, you know what? America's on its last legs. That was embarrassing. The America I know isn't on its last legs. The people I know, we're not on our last legs. We're going to do what we can. We're going to square our shoulders regardless. The government run pretty much by the robes. We're going to do what we can to mortal up. So I don't get this whole America's on its knees. And when I listened to that montage this morning, how many more times, right? You get to a point where you say, I don't like Brussels sprouts. Will you stop making Brussels sprouts? I don't like Brussels sprouts. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought there was some wiggle room. There's no wiggle room. I don't like Brussels sprouts. What? I don't like them. Stop making them. I'm going to start flinging them across the room on my spoon. I don't like Brussels sprouts. How many times does the guy have to say? How many times does any of us have to say? We don't stand for white supremacy. We don't stand for racism. My God, who would? Right? But I'm just curious, how many times does the guy got to come out and call it evil before the brainiacs in the media cut him some slack? So, Wayne, we have a poll. What's going just so I can get off of this, we have a poll up on mortalup.com. And did you say it was running on Facebook? I'm getting no feed here in the thread. So did you say
I haven't loaded it on Facebook yet, but I'll get ready to do that right now.
That's okay. What do we why don't you just go ahead and give us a shout out then? What is it?
Okay. Did Joe trash the truth and Hunter take the cash?
Ooh,
Yes or
did
no?
Joe? Oh, wow. Look at that. Well, the other night in the debate, in the debacle, whatever you want to call it, it would seem to me that Joe Biden said, no, that's a flat out lie. That never happened. He never took the money from the mayor or from this or from that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Not my son. Didn't happen. Well, did I see something today where the Treasury Department says, well, that's odd. That's odd because it sure looks here like you took some money. Brian says, echo, 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 echo. You know, it's an uphill Facebook battle. Thank you so much, Bri. Lots of static on Wayne. Thank you. Candace says, no boxing. Act like a shrink. Well, there you go. So, Wayne, apparently Brian's telling us, hello, Miss Putnam. 100% agree, but we talked about that in 2016 too. Absolutely agreed, Bri. So I don't know if the echo is still there. Is your show now going full right? Let me know so I can stop watching. Very cool. No, it's not full right. What it is, as I'm hoping, is that it's the full truth. Brian says, oh, okay, I'm out. Sorry about that, Bri. No, sorry, that's not Joe. Okay, so Brian says he's afraid that our show is full right so that he's out. Sorry to see you go, Bri, but thank you for hanging with us as long as you did. And let me just say, I've never looked at it as being a full right show. I just like the truth. I just like there to be some idea of the truth in all of this. I just don't want to be played. Do I think we get played by all politicians? Absolutely. So it's not all right. But that's okay. That's what I love. You know it's not all right because I appreciate anyone's opinion that says that I'm not telling the truth, that it's not. All right, so Wayne, our poll this evening, Joe said, no, that's not true. Hunter didn't take the money, but I saw something today that said that the Treasury Department wants to know what happened. How is it then that the mayor of Moscow's wife gave you $3.5 million?
Well, apparently the Treasury Department report is saying definitely different than what Joe Biden and Hunter Biden are saying.
All right.
So they're doing an investigation now.
All right, cool. Well, there you go.
But yes, the poll is out there on Facebook, and it's on mortalup.com, about halfway down the homepage.
You know, it's interesting. I've been thinking about it a little bit today when, and most certainly now when Brian says, hey, okay, I'm out because you've gone full right. My wife came into the room today and said, what are you listening to? And it was a book written by a leftist. So I hope that we agree to take both sides of a story. All I want to know, since I'm accused of being full right, all I want to know, full stop. You said your son didn't take the money. The Treasury Department, your beloved Treasury Department, says he did take the money. So if I'm right in terms of I'm correct to pursue the truth, then there you have it.
Well, and
did he take the money, yes or no?
And that story with the Treasury Department, that
yes,
article, it's out there on multiple sources.
A multiple source. Okay, so it's not just
Yeah.
me making it up,
And
right?
it's-
Which you got to watch for,
Yeah,
right?
it's just
I'm
not.
assuming.
It's not the Washington Journal, also just by itself.
All right. So for me, that's the key. Are we being told the truth by any of them, for that matter? Are we being told the truth, or are we being scammed? And the only reason it particularly matters, I guess I should say this, Wayne, is that you and I and the people watching, the people listening, the people that decide to mortal up, let the others elect whatever king they want. Let them elect whatever ruling party they want. Let them be kindling for whatever political propaganda they want. But the people we hang with are going to wake up the morning after the election, and we're going to have to deal. We're going to have to square our shoulders. We're going to have to make our lives right or correct. I'll get in trouble for that now too, because let our lives live right. So for me, that's the thing. I would just like our politicians to be truthful on both sides. For me, I would like it to be that we're not being grifted. We're not being taken advantage of, that there really is a level playing field for us. Right? You can't count on a level playing field. Apparently, Facebook now has done some things. We mentioned this briefly last evening, but now some people are saying that Facebook are banning ads that mention voter fraud because they say it seeks to delegitimize the elections. Well, what is the truth? Does the truth delegitimize an election? Right? Is it true? Did Governor Cuomo have anything to do with the increase in nursing home deaths over the way he opted to handle COVID-19? Well, we're not going to release the numbers. Is it true James Comey can testify and say 157,000 times in 15 minutes of questioning, I don't remember, I don't remember, I don't remember? What if you and I tried to pull that? I don't remember, I don't remember. So all I'm suggesting is that in order to have a level playing field, we have to be able to trust the people that are in power. And that's not right. It's not left. It's the maniac versus the masses, if you ask me. And I'm all over standing up to anyone that makes it more of an uphill than you and I already have. All right, before we get ready, don't forget, you can give me a text, 833-MORTAL-1. That's MORTAL-1. You can also text me. The hieroglyphics of the number is 833-667-8251. 833-667-8251. Coming up on the bottom of the hour here in a little bit, we'll be taking your calls. Don't forget, head on over to mortalup.com. If you're catching the broadcast here on Facebook, welcome. Also, thank you to everyone that's listening on YouTube. Spitter over on, our little blue bubble that is Spitter. Thank you very much. And LinkedIn. Also, the people tuning in to Radio Bry or listening at the radiobry.com. We have a player right on the website. If you're catching us on a podcast, thank you so very much. Our numbers continue to grow. I think I saw something the other day where our numbers are up 800% or something like that. So it's just good to be back. Thank you all across the platform, Spotify, iTunes, iHeart. Thank you very much. We've got some big news coming out of some things that are coming up starting next week. You know what I wanted to mention also, Wayne, was that the schedule got away from me a little bit today. So we will have the inaugural ride of our mobile marketing cycle. We will have that. Our opening 20 miles will be tomorrow. We did everything we could to tie it all together, make it look, make it roadworthy and this and that. And to be honest with you, studying the last little bit of vehicle and traffic laws, making sure that was all good, getting it all dialed in. So we'll have that tomorrow
And the rain didn't help any today.
Nah, the rain didn't help any. And you know what? Here's the thing. You get out on the road, you take your life into your hands. I don't mind riding in the rain. Matter of fact, the last time it was the hail that was a little more difficult to deal with than anything else. I don't mind riding in the rain, but when you're out and about, people put their windshield wipers on, they're texting their dinner order, they're checking their Instagram feed, their Snapchat, or whatever it's called, Snapchat, whatever, right? They're checking that, and they're not paying attention. You see people driving off the road all the time. So when it starts to rain, I'm usually like, you know what? Why throw more into the pile, right? And I'm not being critical of people. Look, I say all the time, I'm a menace behind the wheel. There's no way, right? I can't text and drive because my mind is usually somewhere else most of the times anyways. So I'm not critiquing other people. I'm just saying I'd like not to be a hood ornament anytime soon. So hopefully we won't be dealing with the wind, the rain, the hail, everything that we got today. 40-mile-an-hour winds. So we will be pushing the inaugural ride to tomorrow. It'll be October 2nd. We'll make up the mileage over the weekend. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, if you're here in the Facebook feed for some reason this evening, I'm not getting it into the monitor, so I'm not able to say hello in person like I like to do. So, Wayne, is there anyone else in the feed you want to give a shout-out to before we go to the break?
Well, we've got Barth is here.
Hey, B, hope all's going well.
And Brian.
Hey, Brian, how are
Bacard.
you? Nice to see you. All right. Well, at least nice to hear that I could be seeing you if we could get the monitor to work. Nice to see you. Hope everything's going well in beautiful upstate New York.
And it looks like that's it.
All right. That's in the feed. Thank you so very much. We're going to get ready. As I say here in a couple minutes, we'll be opening up the phone lines tonight. We're talking about, and here's the thing. All I'm suggesting is that whoever your politician is, you and I should expect to have some sense of honor in that office. That's all I'm suggesting, right? That's all. And if a family member's in with the Russians or the Chinese or this, that, and I got to tell you, the Chinese are cleaning our clocks. Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, they're cleaning our clocks. So I'm one that thinks we should be a little more worried about someone that has pretty tight ties with the Communist Party. Right? You want the science of it? You want to know the breakdown of it? I just think we should be in a position to trust our elected officials. That they're watching out for us. They're watching out for the masses, not for the maniacs, right? See, you hear all the time bootlickers. I love that term. Not for the bootlickers, the sycophants that they surround themselves with. Because I think maybe we are at a crossroad. I don't want to be all doom and gloom. And do you know why? Wait, do you know why I say I don't want to be all doom and gloom? Because even if it turns out to be an uphill, we'll handle the uphill. That's the beauty of Mortal Up. The natural resources that every human being has. That's the beauty of it. So bring what you want to bring. Do what you want to do. But for the rest of us, the Alliance of Extraordinary Vigor, if you don't mind me putting in a plug. You can learn more of that at mortalup.com as well. We'll be talking about that pretty much next week for a good bit. But for those of us, the Alliance, those of us with extraordinary vigor that can just take a punch and keep on coming, what does it matter? What does it matter? We're going to stand up to whatever the bully does, whoever the bully is. Wayne, you know what? Before we go to the bottom of the hour, could you throw up our Maleficent 7 for this evening? I'd like to go there. I was talking about bullies. My mind went down that rabbit hole.
Here you go.
Here we are. Oh, the Maleficent 7 are excellent, if I do say so myself. Take off on the Magnificent 7. Alyssa Milano has to be running around with her little gas mask on or whatever. Mark Ruffalo, another celebrity wanting to tell you how you should live your life. Jimmy Kimmel. I got to tell you, for some of these people, and you can throw in John Oliver down there, it's a good thing they have damn good writers, right? Because they don't write their own material. They have staffs of writers that do this. Alec, I'll punch you over that parking spot I think you just stole from me. Baldwin. Alec, the boxer, Baldwin. Cher. Oh, poor Cher. What's her last name? Bono? Cher Bono? Mrs. Bono? Chelsea Handler. Our Maleficent 7 for the night. Those celebrities in Hollywood that think it makes sense to tell you that they're smarter, they're better, they're more dialed in. Why? Because they make a living off the money we give them. Box office sales means you have a brain in your head? Really? So our Maleficent 7 for the night. Milano, Ruffalo, Kimmel, Baldwin, Cher, Bono, Handler, and John Oliver. Maybe they should stick to just doing some comedy and stop trying to bully everybody with their comedy, I guess we could say. All right, bottom of the hour, we're going to run to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be opening up the phone lines, and we want to hear what you have to say. It's because we say all the time, your voice deserves to be heard. Well, I'll save it for Bill. He'll be back. We'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back. You know what it is? There's two ways to skin a cat, Wayne. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and pull the feed up on my own little phone. So let me say hello to Barth and to Sheila and to Candace. I think Brian's probably long gone, but I'll say hello just in case. Brian Bouchard is here. Hi, Bri. Paul, nice to see you as well. Heather, thank you so very much. Good evening to you as well. Thank you so much, Heather. Nice to have you with us. Thank you for joining Radio Bri for this evening. We've got all kinds of stuff we're kicking around. I was just accused of being all right, whatever that means, or I'm going all right. But if all right means that you want to pursue the truth, that's what I'm interested in. And candidly, we're interested in that, I think, as a group, the alliance, if you will. I think we're interested in it because life's enough of an uphill without our elected officials, without our politicians making it even tougher on us. All right, so Wayne, why don't we go ahead? I'm running a little over. We only got about 24 minutes left. Why don't we go ahead, open the phone lines, and see what we got?
The phone lines are open. Now's your chance to mortal up and give Brian a shout because your opinion deserves to be heard. Dial toll-free 1-833-MORTAL-1. That's 833-MORTAL-1.
As you know by now, 833-667-8251. 833-667-8251. You can also send us a text. Don't forget, you can head on over to mortalup.com, radiobri.com, if that's what you like, and you can vote in our poll. All I'm suggesting is that if someone says, no, that's false, and it's later turned out to be true, thank you, Wayne, phone lines are now open, it's later turned out to be true, who's telling the truth? The Treasury Department? Did Hunter Biden take the money? And if so, why do we really? We can't find better competition? Right? Regardless of what you think about all the other things going on in terms of the battle of the political class, don't we deserve a discourse that's a little elevated, not a debacle? I mean, some of us are working and doing everything we can to watch out for our families, our loved ones, our friends. It just seems to me at times that putting politicians on a pedestal is never a good thing. Just never works out well. Because what does it do to a human ego? You want to put someone on the pedestal? I vote we put you on the pedestal. I vote we make certain that you're winning at life, that you mortal up and are doing everything that makes you and your family happy and successful. And I don't think the Chinese government, I don't think they have our best interest. It's coming across the wire now that 150 human rights groups rallied to oppose China's communist ruling party. And let me just say this, having been to China, having spent time as a guest in people's homes, having spent time in a guest as in people's caves, this is not about the people. This is not about the Chinese people. So for everyone screaming, oh, you're xenophobic, oh, you're right, this is all an anti-China bias. No, it isn't. We're talking about the governments. I have to be honest with you. I'm not certain I've ever met, or at least not met and hung with in another country, someone that was as much of an egomaniac as some of the political structures. Did you hear Chuck Schumer today? Right? Chuck Schumer saying, I'm not working as hard as I am to be the Senate Majority Leader. He can't wait. He can't wait to be fully in charge. He came right out and said, Puerto Rico and D.C. are going to be states. There's 4 more senators. He came right out and said, I'm working too hard to not be in control. Not be in control. The guy's Lex Luthor.
I put it more like hardly working at all.
Yeah, hardly working. Exactly, right? Coming to the floor, giving a speech. Look, let me just say this. It'll only get me in trouble with dear friends. Forget it. I was going to say something about a hair weave, but I'm just not going to even bother, right? I'm not even going to bother. But Chuck Schumer himself said today, I can't wait to have that power. Right? And what eventually happens is that you and I get blocked living the life we dream of because all the brainiacs are trying to tell us how we should live, what we should do. You know, and you see articles or you listen to interviews all the time after people are fleeing socialist countries, radical leftist countries, Marxist countries. And they go, oh, you just don't know what it's like living under, how oppressive it is to live under a regime like that. And as I mentioned before, this whole thing about fueling the fire, oh, they're racist, oh, you're anti-science, oh, you're all you do is believe in myth, oh, you're this, or you're that. All they are ways to divide us. Because they know if they divide us, there's nothing they can do to conquer us. So they try to placate us. They know that there's a tension, right? They know that there's a dis-ease. So they want to figure out a way for us to channel our hatred so it's directed at anyone other than them. And if that makes me full, right the hell with you. They don't want our anger directed where it should be. They want us picking fights with ourselves. We're like remote-controlled little puppets. And they'll pick the topics. You watch. Oh, we got to hate people, right? We got to hate people because they're a different color than we are. Or we got to hate people because they're from Russia. Or we got to hate people because they either wear or don't wear masks. Do you notice the number of times your government, which is supposed to be there watching out for you, is busy stoking the fires? We talked about it last night. The metaphor of the forest fires, right? We're all drought-stricken. We're all having a tough time, at least us and the masses, not the maniacs running the show. Do you ever notice how they're the ones that give us another brawl du jour? This is what we should be battling about, and they give us, through their puppets in the media, they give us what it is that we're, the reasons that we're supposed to hate each other, that we're supposed to brawl with each other, that we're supposed to be picking fights. So for me, and I've talked about this before, but just a cutting sense of scrutiny, a scalpel-like sense of scrutiny, so that we can look at exactly what's happened to us. Greatest country in the world. People say, "Oh, Brian, I'm a person of the I'm a person of the globe. I'm an international globetrotter. I'm a person of the world." Great, still gotta have a place you call home. And of all the places we could be living, of all the places that we could have been dropped into, I'm just saying the United States is a pretty cool place. At least it still is. Right now, before the tipping point, whenever that may be, I'm just not comfortable in believing that the politicians are watching out for you and me anymore. At least career politicians. Standing in our way of expressing our natural resources the way we want to do it. Just look at the number of laws. If anything else, you could say, well, we need a bipartisan. Oh, help us, Lord. Bipartisan is only a way to get them to tighten the screws more on our lid. Talking about lids. Candace says, I've been thinking maybe Trump wanted to see how he is treated on a daily basis. Biden told him to shut up. I'm with you, Candace. Who knows? Who knows? And maybe Trump's right. Maybe he at least thinks he won. Maybe so. I tend to think that he gave the Jerry Springer, Maury Povich. The only thing he didn't do was throw a chair at Chris Wallace. The only thing he didn't do was pick up the podium and try to smack Joe over the head with it. Other than that, it was a Jerry Springer show. But anyone check lately to see what Jerry Springer's ratings were when he was at the top of the game? Maury, I think Maury is still on. Right? Because people want to live vicariously through the brawl. And politicians, right? The neoliberalists, the big tech guys and girls, don't want to be mansplaining, don't want to be sexist. Let me say hello to Sean. Sean, thank you for joining us. Candace as well, thank you. I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. All I'm suggesting is you and I can't afford to be drawn into the fray. Vote for whoever you want to. You want to vote Republican? Vote Republican. You want to vote Democrat? Vote Democrat. But for heaven's sakes, sooner or later, somebody's got to go, what is the truth? I get it. All kinds of people don't dig President Trump. I get it. I get it. The president, Black Entertainment Television, BET, said, I'd rather vote for the devil I know than the devil I don't. And then you're out there just earlier today. Nancy Pelosi raises the possibility of becoming acting president in election chaos. Oh, help me. Who is she? Alexander Haig? The press conference? I'm in control until the vice president's plane lands? Oh, my God. Lexa Luthor wants so bad to be in control. Oh, don't worry. There's election chaos. I'll be acting president. Damn well bet she likes the Constitution now, doesn't she? She'll be the first one to trash it when she can, but she uses the word Constitution to browbeat us with. Candace says, I have my own theory about Biden. Won't last a year. Well, I guess we're going to see, Candace, huh? Let me say hello to Gene. Gene, thank you for joining us this evening. We're talking about how life itself, it's all uphill. And how we have the right to ask our politicians, don't tip the scales, more in gravity's favor. Don't make it harder on us to live the life that we want. Possibility of being an acting president in election chaos. There's only one person more thrilled with the current situation than that, and that's Kamala Harris. Did she even make it out of the first debate? Right? Did she even make it? Did she get any percentage? For goodness sakes, you could have picked Gabbard, Tulsi Gabbard. In any event, what we're talking about is politicians not putting their fingers on the scales to make it more challenging for us, to make it more of an uphill, not less of an uphill. Wayne, if you would you play that audio, if you can cue that audio up one more time?
Sure thing.
Thank you, sir.
I totally disavow the Ku Klux Klan. I totally disavow David Duke.
When you say the party is self-destructive, what do you see as the biggest problem with the Reform Party right now?
Well, you've got David Duke just joined. A bigot, a racist, a problem. I mean, this is not exactly the people you want in your party.
So are you prepared right now to make a clear and unequivocal statement renouncing the support of all white supremacists?
Of course I am. Of course I am. Do I have to reject? I've rejected David Duke, rejected David Duke. I've rejected the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan. About the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. Racism is evil. And those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups that are repugnant to everything we hold dear as America. In one voice, our nation must condemn racism, bigotry, and white supremacy.
All I'm suggesting is that for everyone in the media and us and all of social media, right? Broadcast media, social media, all of it. What's the truth? Remember when the ISIS leader was killed? The media headline was a religious scholar at the helm of the Islamic State dies. Religious scholar? He put all of us in the crosshairs. President Trump loses a family member, younger brother. The story is his brother, who filed a lawsuit against his niece, dies. Right? So all we're getting is spun. All we're getting, whoever you decide to vote for, it's not right? It's good with me. I'm just saying. Can we finally figure out what the truth is? And I think the answer is yes. You and I can bring that scalpel-like scrutiny. And we just don't buy the taglines. We don't buy. Just don't buy into the media mania, the malpractice of some in the media. And again, not everyone in the media. I have family and friends, dear friends that are still in the media. CNN says, oh, well, the protests, they're mostly peaceful. 93% of the protests were peaceful. Well, how about the 7 where everyone that wanted to go nuts did? That wasn't a peaceful protest, but Circus News Network, that's the way they spun it. As John Stossel says, well, wait a minute. When a plane crashes, they don't say 99% landed safely on the screen. So I would just say it's up to us whether we listen to the jingles of the journalists. And will you state unequivocally, how many times does the guy have to say it? How many times does any guy have to say it? Which again is why I vote for Joe Rogan to be able to come in. Someone texted me today and said, oh, well, we should have duels. Linda, thank you so very much for joining us. Bart says, when will he say it? Can't they hear or read? Apparently not. Which is interesting because you think journalists would have at least mastered the art of reading. Right? One would think. How many times you got to say it? So all I'm suggesting is that you and I, and it's only going to get worse for the next 30 days. I get now when Wayne says, I didn't watch anything all day today. Boy, don't I get why. So here's a fact check for you. Everyone wants a fact check. You know, when we hear, young people are being torn, babies, kids are being torn from their families at the border and left in cages. Oh, guess who built the cages? The last administration. Oh, I see. Right?
It wasn't a problem back then.
I guess it wasn't a problem back then. Cable news networks, Van Jones. At least he's told the truth, and he admitted that CNN favors Biden. When he said, quote, as long as he didn't embarrass himself, we were going to come out here and praise it. I don't agree a lot with some of the things Van Jones agrees with, but he's right there. All Joe had to do was not fall asleep. Right? And then you look, you think of, Anderson Cooper, Chris Cuomo, Don Lemon, or Lamone, whatever it is. Right? They're propagandists. And all I'm simply suggesting, and it goes across, so you can say you can find them at Fox, you can find them at the Circus News Network, you can find them at MSNBC, You can find them on Spitter, the Blue Bubble verse over at Spitter. But you and I will need to bring a scalpel-like scrutiny. I keep going back to that term to cut through all the bias. Ronald said, it's no longer news. It's propaganda. Candace asked about, well, what about all the millions of babies aborted? But that's okay. All I'm simply suggesting is that you and I are smart enough to realize that we're being bamboozled. And depending upon how it turns out, we might have to mortal up a little more than we thought. All right, let's go ahead and run head on, Wayne, into Mortal Up. All right, this evening for the Mortal Up, what are we going to talk about on our closing? Well, we got about 7 minutes left. And then we'll ask Wayne how we're doing on the poll. When people say, oh, you're overly humanist, it's in fact the truth. I believe in the human ability to right themselves, just given a little bit of running room. And I just don't think that the big corporations, the politicians, certain outlets in the media, for God's sakes, most all celebrities, they think they're better than us masses. They think they're smarter. They think they have their finger on the pulse more than we do. Candace says, my skin is getting even thicker. Good for you, Candace. Now, we're not suggesting that you have such thick skin that nothing, right, that you don't have empathy. You don't have sympathy for another human being. That's not what we're talking about. But we're talking about brittle brains atop balsa wood spines in the neoliberal world. Not working out really good for us, is it? What were we called, Wayne? The deplorables? Basket of deplorables? Great. I was looking to rebrand myself. I'm a deplorable. Ask anybody that knows me. Brian's still here. Bart. Candace has known me forever. I'm a deplorable. And there's a ton of me. And they're scared to death that we'll ever figure out how to unite. So they come up with all these different reasons for us to be brawling. But here's the deal. When you mortal up, you decide what's best for you in your family in the current time that you're in. But you have the ability. You have, as I said earlier, the buried logic. That gut sense, right? You talk about gut instinct. You have that ability to go, yeah, right, this just doesn't feel right. It feels like I'm being misled by any political party. So people will say, well, will you unequivocally say that the left or the right, Wayne, we call it wing sauce, don't we? We say, the far left, the far right. Left wing, right wing. Beneath all the flapping and clucking, it's still just a chicken. Wing sauce. A lot of noise, but not much sense. A lot of noise, but not much sense. Let me say hello to Sarah. So this is why you aren't answering Bart. Why, is Bart not a deplorable with me? I didn't realize I wasn't answering Bart. Oh, you know what? I should probably say that I'm not getting the quote feed in the monitor this evening. So maybe I don't know if that's why I'm not answering Bart. But Bart, I'm glad you're here. Thank you, brother. Paul says, everything they say is tainted. Everything they say or do is suspect. Oh, this is, I want to be able to get through this. Everything they say is suspect. You noticed how I'm not allowed to say shit on air, Paul, so I'm going to have to clean it up and say crap bags, because Wayne now has a button that he's able to hit, so I can't say shit bags. I have to say crap bag. What? Oh, well, see, that's him trying to censor it already. So the crap bags at AP refer to Jack Wilson as the killer of a church shooter. You are the shooter. I am the shooter. Jerry Michaluk is a shooter. Murderers are not shooters. Paul says sorry. AP should just shut down. No, Paul, never apologize. Thank you for telling us what you think. So when it comes to Mortal Up, scalpel-like scrutiny, making sure that what they're doing supports the masses, because it's the masses that empower them. Think about it. All these celebrity nut jobs running around. How did they become so well-known celebrities? Off of the money that we pay for their tickets. Let me say hello to Margaret. Margaret, thank you so very much for joining us this evening in the closing minutes of Radio Bry, or the Brian Brawdy Show. All right, we've only got a couple minutes left. I've got a couple little things to do, a little bit of shopkeeping. But as far as as far as the Mortal Up for tonight, it's all uphill. Don't let them scare you about the uphill. You and I were built for the uphill. You and I were built for the ricochet. You and I thought today, well, if unless you're outnumbered, why even put down the remote and get up off the couch? Of course we're outnumbered. Everyone says, oh, well, Mother Nature, she keeps you in the palm of her hand. Yeah, my experience of being out in the middle of nowhere. Oh, Wayne, I was going to talk about that National Geographic survival thing, that interview I did. I sent you the email about it. We'll put a link up to that tomorrow night. I forgot all about it. But my experience has been in nature. All the places that I've been in nature, the extremes of weather I've been in nature. If nature holds you in the palm of your hand, it's simply because she's trying to get the other hand around your throat. You're an easier target if she's got you in the palm. She can get right in and get you. It's all uphill. Paul says, sorry I went off. Not at all, Paul. Thank you very much. We will definitely keep it up. Thank you for sharing your opinion. Remember, as a mortal, as a human being, you possess all the natural resources, all the authentic vigor, all the buried logic, all the true grit that you need to make life bend to your wishes, not the other way around. And don't tolerate anyone, any politician, any pundit, anyone, any propagandist that convinces you or suggests that you're not up for the challenge. It's a boatload of bunk. All right, don't forget, head on over to mortalup.com, RadioBry.com as we call it. check out some of the different things we got going on there. You can quote in the poll. Let me thank everyone over on YouTube. Let me also thank everyone here in the Facebook feed. Barth, if you mentioned something and I missed you, I'm sorry. Or apparently all I'm missing is Sarah's joke. Thank you all so very much. Over on LinkedIn and Spitter, Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, thank you so very much. Thank you for helping us with our numbers growing. We super appreciate it. And as I end every show, thank you very much to Wayne for everything he does to put lipstick on this overly chunky farm animal. Let's just call it that.
You can say pig.
Oh, I can say, pig I'm allowed to say. Oh, okay. All right. But lipstick on this pig with more head scars than most Vikings, but not more head scars than Frankenstein, as I learned over the weekend. All right. We are out. Wayne, if you will, carry us away.
Thanks for listening to the Brian Brawdy Show. Until next time, get out there and mortal up.